Let uncook.
I'm Jew. If I was not, I would die. 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 If I was not, I would die.
I was a fucking gangster before I got charged with a case. I was a fucking gangster. People were so fucking afraid of me. I was a menace to society.
Were you extorting, robbing, all kinds of stuff?
You can't even imagine.
Really?
They used to call me the kid. I got arrested when I was 18 years old for bullshit I've never done. And I beat the fucking case. But they held me in jail for 30 days.
I love the losers on the internet going, King, you don't look like you even have that much money. How much money do you have? You don't really spend that much.
Well, guys, we are back here once again with the man that really puts the word bend into bend over. The one and only Bend Over Azoulay, aka the Wannabe King. And it has actually been around a week or two since the last time we covered this goober, mainly because I needed a break from all of his stupidity and all of his ridiculous bullshit. But now that a little bit of time has actually passed, I feel like that it's right about time that we flame the absolute shit out of this wannabe tough guy alpha male. And you see, since the last time that we did cover him, he has fully re-entered his grifting bullshit, and not only has he been doing some new podcasts, but he's also been doing a variety of other stupid activities. And recently, he has even gone as far as to be reposting some of the different videos on TikTok that are making fun of him, and has been posting shit like this right here, talking about how his story is so unbelievable that it's hard to believe. And I will say he did get one thing right, and that is the fact that nobody is believing this horse shit.
My mother came through Mexico to have me here. When we arrived here and I was born, my uncle was working with
Pablo at school.
Two uncles. One told Pablo that the drugs that he sent him, it was confiscated by the Beverly Hills Police Department and it didn't arrive to him. So Pablo had people inside, checked, nothing was confiscated. My uncle was trying to rob him for $2 million worth of product.
So he sent
This guys, he kidnapped
one of my uncles, which he knew that didn't have anything to do with it, but it was the brother. He held him, and then until he found that brother who was about to run away to Israel, and he just blasted him with
they say 2,000 bullets.
So at this point, the guy got to such an extent that he is posting the very videos that are making fun of his goofy ass, as he's trying to convince people that all of his family was involved with all of this cartel life, and his family member apparently got shot with over 2,000 bullets. But on top of that, he's also been telling some pretty news stories, like this one right here that he decided to post, where I can only assume he got inspired to make it up after he had watched the latest Fast and Furious movie, because apparently he was out here hitting 180s, pulling out the blicky and breaking people's window, just being a total and utter badass.
I'm God, and I just gave you new life. He literally drove next to me, hit my car. I don't even know who the this guy is. I passed him, pulled my e-brake, do a 180, stop right in front of him, right close, get out the fucking car, take my gun, break the window, hold him out of the door, through the window, put him to the ground, cock my fucking Glock, put it to his mouth, and look at him. I say, you're dead. That guy pissed himself. I smacked him in the face extremely hard. We started to cry. I said, today, we're gonna celebrate your birthday. From now on, this is your birthday. You hear me? I said, yes. Got up and I left. I would never shoot them for something like this, but I had to give them a new birthday. I was a young man. I was full of fucking rage.
And yeah, it's just another load of made-up horse shit that this guy got inspired on after he watched a movie, because we all know that the only person getting slapped in the face would be good old Bend Over here, and he would probably be getting slapped in the face by one of those 30 guys' cocks as he's trying to beat them all off, since that is what he is just so damn famous for. And it's all a lot of his typical bullshit, and nothing too new, but there was one video that he posted that I do have to say was pretty unique and new, and is something that I'm gonna warn you now, you're gonna need to brace yourself for, because I don't even know what the fuck this is right here, but whatever it is, I know one thing for sure, and that is the fact that it is very hard to sit through.
Hey, look at this.
Yo, listen up, here's a story about a big guy that lives in a Jew world. And all day and all night, and everything he sees is just Jew. Like him, inside and outside. Jew his house with a Jew big window and a Jew Rolls Royce. And everything is Jew for him and himself and everybody around, because he ain't got nobody to listen, to listen, to listen. I'm Jew. If I was not, I would die. 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 Yup, I'm a Jew. Love y'all.
Wow. Let's do that again. No.
And don't you dare for a second ask me what the actual fuck that was right there that you just had to sit through and listen to, or what you just had to witness, because I couldn't even tell you. All I know is that I really did not like it. And it's just the shit that this goober decided that he was going to film and was going to post. I mean, he didn't even attempt to make anything rhyme. It was just him spamming the word Jew. So with this dumb shit being noted right here, and him trying to further his music career, as you can tell, he's been on some bullshit. And it is bullshit that continued to move forward as we got to witness a brand new podcast. And the only way I can describe the podcast is by calling it a conversation between off-brand Steven Seagal and off-brand Vanilla Ice. And it was just filled with a ton of goofy ass shit. So we're also going to take a look at some of the highlights from said podcast. And naturally, it started off with Bendover automatically just yapping about how he had a very interesting life and how everything he said has been the truth. And the only reason that people don't believe him and don't like him is because they're apparently losers.
So, I've had quite an interesting life. Very, very interesting life. I mean, my life has been so unbelievable to the point where I share stories and they're not believable. They're like, I don't believe that.
It's like a fairy tale.
It's like a fairy tale, you know? Like, listen, there's no way this guy's been through all this shit. Most people don't like me on social media. Why they don't like me? It's very simple. Because a lot of the people on social media are a bunch of losers.
100%.
That they're not really productive, they're idiotic, they act like losers.
And we're just gonna pause it right here, because I can't think of anything that could be more unproductive than what this clown chose to do as his daily job, which is to sit on the internet, pretend to tell fake war stories, and to constantly lie, also that he can grift for attention and for his coaching program. But I also wanted to note one other thing, and that is the fact that off-brand Vanilla Ice right here does some insane glazing throughout this podcast. He is getting on his knees, opening wide, and getting ready for the Bendover Express. Like you'll just hear throughout it, he doesn't disagree with a single word Ben says, and is just on board with fucking everything. But getting back to it, after this he decided that he needed to defend how many followers he has, and he ends up going on a speech about all the different followers on all his other platforms, and how they're actually authentic, and they're not bots.
I have 500,000 followers on Instagram. I have more followers on other platforms, 500,000 on YouTube, 307,000 on TikTok, about 400,000 on Facebook. And we have a few more accounts and platforms, a few million people between all of the accounts. But you have to understand that in order for people to follow me, they either have to be like me or want to be like me.
Definitely.
But there isn't many guys out there that are like me or want to be like me.
And
most of them are losers.
And I guarantee you're not looking for the stupid people.
Correct.
You don't want the stupid people following you. You want people who want to better their life and want better in life to follow and learn from you, correct? Dick Rider, Dick Rider, Dick Rider!
I could have, by tomorrow, 1 million followers on Instagram. And in the next 12 to 24 months, I could probably have 10 to 15 million followers. In 3 years, I'll probably have 50 million followers. Why? Because if I do stupid shit and joke around all day and act idiotic, I'm going to get so many followers because most of the people on social media are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The people that are following me are not stupid.
And you have to love how he says that. Like, he hasn't been out here doing stupid shit for the past year or two, at basically every turn that he possibly could. If there was a chance to look like a dumbass and say something out of pocket to try to get attention, he is doing it. I don't know if there is much more that he could do that would be considered stupid in order for him to get all of these other followers. And on top of that, he doesn't even have that many followers. They are clearly bot farmed, because if you look at his YouTube, he apparently has 500,000 subs, but the man is out here averaging no views a fucking video. And the only views he is getting are just shitting on him. He is getting ripped apart in the comments. So obviously he's got it a bit misconstrued, because the people following him would have to be really fucking stupid to actually take him serious and listen to the shit he's saying. But after this, the podcast continued to get more interesting as he decided to jump into his little case for a quick second before quickly jumping out of it. And I'll just let you listen to what he had to say.
I got arrested when I was 18 years old for bullshit I've never done. And I beat the fucking case. But they held me in jail for 30 days. And when I was in there, I said, God, probably your plan. Everything else I've done, I didn't get caught. I could have been away for life. This happened. This was a warning.
The thing you didn't do is the thing you get caught for, and you get
it
in
was a
trouble for.
warning by God. Because the shit I did do, I would have been away for my whole life.
Well, good thing you didn't get caught for that shit.
Exactly.
So let me ask you
It's
this.
been way too long, so now they could go fuck it.
So what you're talking about when you were 18, was that the rape case that everybody's talking shit about on the internet?
Yes.
Wow. So
let's talk about this
let's-
for a second.
let's get into that.
Let's talk about this. We moved from God to getting into
From God to what a podcast,
yes,
right?
what a
an
podcast.
episode.
Listen, we're gonna go through everything, okay?
Let's do it.
And I'm open about everything. And the reason I'm open is because I'm not afraid of anybody.
Just for the fans at home, I told this guy, I said, look, if there's any topics that you want off limits, give me a list and I won't bring them up. He said, nothing is off limits. We're going hard, baby. So here we are.
Anything. I'm telling you, once we're done with this fucking podcast, this will be the craziest podcast you've ever fucking watched. The craziest fucking podcast. I guarantee you. Because this is just the beginning. We're fucking warming up right now.
Oh, yeah.
This is the beginning.
And it was just the beginning. Just the beginning of pure and utter bullshit. Because as you heard, he kind of started to go in for a brief second about how he could have got locked up for all of this other crazy shit he was doing. And instead of talking about his case like he said he would, he immediately dodged that shit hard as a motherfucker, and instead went on a tangent about how he was this badass in the mafia and was this gangster and was apparently known as the Kid. So forget the whole talking about the case thing. Instead, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna self-glaze and make up bullshit about how he was a badass.
I was a fucking gangster before I got charged with a rape case. I was a fucking gangster. People were so fucking afraid of me. I was a menace to society.
Were you extorting, robbing, all kinds of stuff?
You can't even imagine.
Really?
They used to call me the Kid. I was the most dangerous motherfucker out there.
Real quick, just for the beginning, was this are you from Israel or are you from California?
I was born in California. You already know real gangsters come from California.
Of course, yes.
They don't come from anywhere else. Real gangsters.
There's some Israeli gangsters, though. You know there
come
is.
from California.
Well, you're
Yeah,
from California.
but they came to California and then all of a sudden they're gangsters, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Israeli gangsters. The reason you don't hear about them because they're smart.
They're in the background. They don't show themselves.
They are smart. They're very smart.
So let's.
One of my friends was a gangster out of here. He was listening to the FBI when they came to pick him up.
Really?
He was listening. He was tuning in to the FBI when they came to pick him up. Ran off. He's in Mexico now.
No, he's still on the run?
Yeah, he's in Mexico. They don't extradite.
They're chilling. He's chilling.
Yeah, he's chilling. He's having a good time.
So not only did we get a further lore drop about how he was apparently a gangster and was known as the Kid, but we also got a lore drop about his random-ass friend that he of course didn't name, that apparently was listening to the FBI and got out of there and is still on the run. And this was still not where the gangster talk finished, because he then went on multiple tangents about how his family members were badass gangsters, and how he was just part of a long line of these badasses.
My grandpa was a gangster too, and was a boxer. So crazy motherfucker. The whole town was scared shitless of my grandpa. And some people came, tried to shoot at him to kill him one time. Somehow, many bullets, nothing hit him.
Crazy.
So after that, people were like, listen, you can't kill this guy. You can't kill him, so just let him be.
Just deal with him.
Let him be. Let him be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But everybody knew my grandpa. And my grandpa was a tough motherfucker. My uncles are like that. You know, some of my uncles are like 6'5". I have an uncle that's like 6'10".
Jeez.
Big motherfuckers, you know? One looks like Shrek, like an ogre, huge guy. You see him, and they're all... And I have two sides of the family. One side was gangsters, and the other side were cops. But from my dad's side, I have an uncle that is in prison that nobody knows about. I've never even shared his name. He's the biggest gangster in Israel. In the history of Israel. I've never seen him, never talked to him. I never knew he was my family.
So he's been locked up since you were...
No, he's been locked up for a few years now, but I think he's got like 50 years in prison. But if he says tomorrow in the prisons in Israel, nobody eats, everybody's fasting. Everybody's fasting. In all the prisons, everybody's fasting. He was like a Pablo Escobar.
So one family member was apparently the biggest gangster in Israel, along with the others just being badasses, and one of them just apparently being able to tell everybody in prison that we're not eating, and they're just all gonna listen like good boys and do so, because naturally, this guy's a badass because he's related to Bend Over Azoulay. So it's a whole lot more complete loads of horse shit and just more yapping by this guy to try to sound cool by also making his family kind of sound cool. And he still wasn't done because instead of talking about that case, which just got avoided for this first part of this podcast, he decided that he was going to talk about how he's never been knocked out and about the 30 guy incident.
I know how to take a punch. I know how to take kicks to the head. I've never went to sleep. But every single person who I fought went to sleep, except in the time that I was jumped. One time I was jumped by 30 guys. They couldn't take me out. I didn't die. People are like, oh, he fought 30 guys and he beat them. No, I didn't beat them, you idiots. They beat the out of me.
Obviously.
But I didn't die.
Why did 30 guys jump you, can I ask?
Outside of a house party back in the days.
Okay, you were young, just young and dumb,
was
stupid
young.
shit.
No, my friends, they came, like, picked on my friends. It was just a few of them, and it was a crowd of people. I didn't know that the whole crowd was all of their fucking buddies.
Okay.
And then my friends ran inside the cars and locked themselves, and I was outside fighting with these guys, and they beat the out of me.
Did you get hospitalized?
No.
No.
Right after that. We literally, after about 15 minutes of fighting, it was one point where the guy hit me with a baton on the face. And when he struck me, I went down, and then they started kicking me. But I kind of saw black, and then it came back to me. I got back up and just kept fighting with them. Eventually, they just stopped it. They realized they're just going to kill me, or they stop.
And they're going to catch charges to go away for life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they were like 16, 17. I think some of them were 18.
So
but
old enough
mainly
to get
like
charged
16.
as adults.
I was 13
Holy shit.
at that time.
Damn.
But I had no fear. I was fearless.
And yeah, this is obviously not very believable at all. But on top of that, he had the audacity to say the fight lasted 15 minutes. And for anybody who hasn't been in a fight or doesn't know much about it, a minute alone feels like an eternity. So there is no way in fuck that this guy was fighting 30 different people for 15 minutes. It's just a lie. It's a pure and utter lie. And the perfect place to end this, because that's all this guy does is sit there and lie. So with that said, if you enjoyed, please drop a sub and a like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are flaming all of these fake tough guys. And I'm out. Watching Bend Over Azoulay continue to embarrass himself. And peace.
Most of the American people, most of them, are very submissive. They're dumb. I have to dumb down things for them. And it is what it is. They're like peasants.